exciting episode of As the River Churns.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. Hope you've had a good week. It's been a long week. A lot of changes this week, as we all know. We don't have a guest today, do we, Lisa?
We don't. So you're stuck with the two of us.
But we're going to talk, I think, at the end of the show today, a little bit about some of the guests that we're going to invite for the next week or so here. So.
Oh, and before we get started.
Oh, we got to turn.
I don't have a partner today, so this could be a challenge.
All right, Lisa. Let's see how strong you are. Oh, she did it. Look at that. Look how talented she is. So.
Okay.
All right. I think we've been starting out with our trivia question.
Yes. Let's see. Well, before we get into that, Tom.
Oh, okay.
We had a lot of comments from yesterday's show.
Yes, we did.
Mostly good.
I don't know why. No.
Mostly good. We've had several requests to replay it.
Oh, okay.
So we haven't scheduled that yet, but we did have several requests. And I did have one person.
Roll it again, huh?
We might need to roll it again.
Yeah, okay. I got it. Yeah.
Yep. We did have one person that said when she lived on a farm, she remembers using Sears and Roebuck catalogs for toilet paper.
Oh, that sounds
So this
exciting.
brought back some memories. Yesterday's show brought back some memories for some folks.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that comment.
Well, that's a cut above probably some of the other things that I heard. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Also just want to thank Sandy McCormick for the picture today. I believe that was her son-in-law.
Yeah, all neat.
Yes. So thank you for sharing that. So
kind of eerie, though, isn't it, to see the two policemen in New York
and
there's
nobody there. So kind of crazy. So the trivia question today, this one is by Gay Brown. So thank you, Gay, for sending this to us. What letter of the alphabet is not in the name of any state? So what letter of the alphabet is not in the name of any state? It's a big prize today, so you're going to want to get to your phone, if you know the answer, to call 336-389-4103. So that you're calling Michelle, 336-389-4103. And it's a big prize today, Tom.
She's already got a call. She's
running out of the room.
She's running out. What's the big prize today?
Well, you know how we've been advertising the grocery boxes, and we came up with that little creative one for us here, the Back to the Basics?
Yeah.
It's a $45 box. It has proteins, breads, vegetables, all the good stuff in it.
Yeah, that's good.
We're actually going to give one of those boxes away today.
Now, is the box going to have anything in it, or is it just...
The box will be full of basics.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
And we'll place that order on Monday, so if you're the winner today, you will get your box on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
So, but that's a big prize.
And we've had several folks that have taken advantage.
We have. I think, when I came down, I think we're up to 12. 12 boxes already placed, and we just advertised that, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good start already.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
It's a great deal.
And I think that because we're letting you use your dining dollars to do that.
Absolutely. You don't have to pay out real money at the grocery store.
Use your dining dollars. It's a good way to use your dining dollars.
Absolutely.
Too, so. Okay, so let's get into the update that we have for today. Again, just pulling information from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services website. As of 11 o'clock today, we have the state has completed 15,136 tests, of which 763 were positive. So again, that's right around, I'm still kind of tracking right around that 5% mark. So 5% of all the tests that are completed are coming out positive. And we are up to 3 deaths, unfortunately, in North Carolina. I know that we had another one yesterday. Pretty young person, I think.
30 years old, I believe.
Yeah, so that's sad. So again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family members of that person. Let's see, some other things today. Let's see, well, let's just more counts here. Michelle's been helping me kind of track this. Looks like between Guilford and Forsyth, we have 47 positive cases. the bigger counties or the bigger metropolitan areas are in North Carolina have more. Looks like Mecklenburg, which is where Charlotte is up to 218. And Wake Durham area, when you add the two of them together, it's 187 at the moment. So, obviously we want that number to start going down at some point here, or at least slow down. So we're kind of hoping that'll happen. I'm sure most of you know that the stimulus package was approved today, so that's good. I think that'll help our economy. At least I hope it will. I think we all hope that that's the case. The Guilford County stay-at-home program or ordinance today is going into effect at 5 o'clock. As many residents as I think we've seen go out of the community today and come back, it's not surprising that we have more people going in and out today because that hopefully is going to stop at 5 o'clock this afternoon. But that goes into effect this afternoon at 5. And we also found out that Forsyth County and the city of Kernersville are also putting in the stay-at-home program. So they're going to be joining Guilford County and the city of Greensboro and the city of High Point in the same measures. So lots going on there, obviously. I think we're just going to continue to see that go throughout the state here as numbers increase in other areas. So as a matter of fact, we had a couple of questions, or not so much questions, I guess, just some points. We've been asked about what happens if you leave campus after 5 o'clock today and from ongoing. And so the answer is that we're still working on that. Organizationally, we're looking at that. We are looking to see what we have the right to be able to do and what we can't do. Probably unless, and I'm just going to answer part of that, unless we get to a point where we have an authoritative group that tells us we can shut our campus down completely, we can't legally stop you from leaving the campus. But what we might do, quite honestly, is if you leave the campus and come back, we might have you quarantined for 14 days. So not saying that's what's going to happen, but I can tell you that's what we're discussing organizationally right now, is that possibility. So I'll have more about that. And the whole trick there is not having you leave the campus for reasons that don't make sense. If you've got a medical appointment and you've got to go somewhere, we get that. I mean, we understand that. But if you're going out and going to the grocery stores now, or if you're going out to see families, or you're going out to do things that don't make sense and you're putting our community at risk by doing that, then, organizationally, I think we're going to come up with an answer for that. And I think quarantine, to me, makes sense to be able to do that. So we'll see how that comes down. But we got to really start being proactive in trying to keep our current residents from leaving the campus, because every time they leave, there's a chance that they are bringing the coronavirus back with them. So enough.
And Tom, didn't we have some news from another community? Was it in Virginia?
Yeah. So we found out there's an upscale retirement community in the Virginia area that has the coronavirus. Again, not trying to scare anybody, but it just goes to show you that we're not immune to this. And my understanding is that they've had 4 deaths in that community at this point. So, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it happen also at nursing homes. I think there's a community down in New Orleans also that I've been hearing about that also has been had this affliction coming to them. So they're struggling with that down there as well. So yeah, so we know it's spreading. And again, we're doing our best to try and keep you all safe. We also, I did hear back today from the governor's office about our pool, and the governor's office unfortunately said that all pools are to be closed. So
doesn't matter that we were in a community.
It doesn't matter that we were in a retirement community. As a matter of fact, I think I mentioned yesterday that we were not the only community that was inquiring about that, but I got an email back saying that what we had feared was true, and that is our pool needs to be closed. So we will be following that determination. And then we're continuing. I know we had gotten a lot of questions about what we've been talking about with the compartmentalization of the outside residents and how we were going to do things. And quite honestly, we've got a plan that we've just about got finished. We are planning to meet with actually the resident council after this show today, and then we'll put that out tonight. We decided to slide it back. We were going to start this as of Monday, but I think we're going to wait till Tuesday now because we've got some things that we're still tweaking and want to get in place.
Right.
And so we also want to make sure that council is in agreement with everything that we're doing and is on board with what we're doing. So a lot of the questions, which have been great questions coming back about, what to do about the library, what to do about
In-house mail.
Thank you.
Dry cleaning, packages that might get delivered up here. What if I want a treat from the coffee and creamery?
Yeah.
Some of the other things, how do I get to the clinic? Grab and go for outside folks. If I really want a breakfast, how can I get breakfast if I live outside?
Right.
Transportation requests, the bank, the ITM that we have, and just general walking in the main building too.
Yeah. So, we've got a plan that's probably about 95% done.
Right.
We're, like I said, we want to go and talk with the resident council about that this afternoon, and we expect to have something out in the boxes tonight.
We do, and care merge.
And care merge,
So.
but we, it will not take effect until Tuesday. So, so just stay tuned, and we'll have more of that. Okay, Lisa.
Okay, should we start with some questions?
Yes, let's
Okay.
start with questions.
Will construction stop for the next 2 weeks, or are they considered essential?
So the construction companies are considered essential, and so we are continuing with screening them and med checking them on a daily basis. Since 99% of the work is actually outside of our buildings, we feel like this is a risk worth taking, and we're going to continue on with construction at this point, although that could change at any time. But at the moment, we're continuing on with that. And we're getting very close to being done on phase 1 of the healthcare center, which is the bistro and the kitchen that's over there. We actually had our health inspector in yesterday, so I really think we're very close to finishing up phase 1 of our healthcare center. And then the hybrid apartments are basically done. We have a certificate of occupancy for those. So I think we're just doing some minor touch-up in those 2 buildings at this point. So, so we're getting pretty far along on construction. And I think we talked about maybe, because there was a suggestion about this, that maybe in the next week or 2 we'd try and have, Ricky or Mark or somebody come in from Bloom and just kind of give us a quick update on what's going on with construction.
So we'll fit them in the schedule.
We'll try and fit them into the schedule here.
Okay. If I order a Back to the Basic box, when will my dining dollars be charged? That's a good question. So the day that we place the order, so that's either Monday or Wednesday. So currently we're taking orders to be placed on Monday. So once we put that order in, you'll see that come deducted off your dining dollars. And I know that makes a difference to folks because we're in between months right now. So that's why I think that question came about. So it'll be either on a Monday or Wednesday, depending on what day your order was put in. Okay. If we leave our apartment, could housekeeping clean our home, or is that still unsafe?
Yeah, it obviously it does reduce the risk a little bit if the resident's not there, but we still deem it unsafe for our staff members to be in your homes at this point. I've been mentioning about the fact that we're working on a plan. I'll give you just a couple snippets of what we've been thinking about doing. Working with Joe Rojas and Denise and the team, and we're actually going to be asking for, and we think we might have, 3 or 4 volunteers who we are going to go ahead and have tested under the COVID-19 coronavirus testing guidelines. And we're thinking about actually having them then live here on campus for the next month or 2 and kind of have them be, so to speak, a clean team. And so we're hoping that then at that point, that since they would be cleared of the virus, then it would be safe to send them into the residents' homes that way and do some sort of not a full house cleaning, but a modified house cleaning that we could maybe be able to do. This would be for residents outside and inside, and it'd be for those mostly that really need the extra help, but we would be willing to do it for anybody. There'll be some exceptions. If we can pull this off, there'll be some exceptions. And those exceptions will be anybody that's sick or under quarantine at this point. And quite honestly, anybody that's left our campus and come back in the last 14 days, they will be excluded until we're past a certain point. We will not be providing housekeeping there. So we're still working on this, but I think the good news is it looks like we might have some volunteers that are willing to do this,
Yes.
staff-wise. It won't be a full clean, but we think we can start getting into the apartments and to the cottages at least on maybe an every other week basis. If not, it won't be any more than that with 2 teams. But the idea there, again, is just to try and provide some sort of housekeeping measures for our independent living
Hit the
residents.
hot spots, bathrooms maybe,
Yeah, maybe bathroom.
changing bed linen,
um,
things like that.
Yeah,
that-
so it'll be a really modified approach, but the 4 that we have are excellent housekeepers, and so I think that they can be very efficient if they can move through. And so we're still working on that. That's not going to happen next week. We're going to try and work through the details of that next week, but I'm hoping that maybe in the next coming weeks we'll be able to do that. And quite honestly, this is a plan. This is nobody else is doing this. We're the only community that's doing this. But our hope here is, or our fear is, that we're going to be in this for the next several months, and we want to have some sort of option for residents to be able to get their apartments and their cottages cleaned at least once in a while, even if it's not on a weekly basis. So I'm actually excited about it. I think it's going to be a
We
really
are.
good
I mean,
plan.
And we even had a couple staff members step up and say, I'm willing to do this and I
Yeah.
want to serve.
And obviously, this clean team, they would not be intermixing with other staff members. We would actually keep them away from other staff members. So the idea there is to really try and keep them as safe and clean as we can. That's part of the reason for wanting them to stay on site here and live on site.
Right.
They would not be going off campus. And the idea there, again, is so that you would have the comfort of knowing that when they're coming into your homes, that they are free of the virus as best as we can make that be.
Sure.
And that you won't have to worry about that, and we won't have to worry about them getting something from you, because we're only going to be doing this for folks that are not sick and that are not quarantined and that have not been off the campus in the last 14 days. So I've given you most of the plan, but we just got to figure out and make sure we do all the details of that.
Right,
And
right.
it's not just a matter of doing that and having it done. There's a lot of planning that needs to be involved, communicating with the 3 or 4 staff members. And we think it's 4.
Think
We
so.
were at
Yep.
3.
Yep.
I
I think
we're
we got
at
our
4.
4th committed today.
So
it's a big
I'm-
commitment.
I'm very excited about that because I
Right.
think it's a way for us to be able to still get in and help residents out, especially the residents that need the help. I
Absolutely.
think we can really help them. So,
I have a new question that just came in, Tom. This
Oh,
one's
okay.
for you.
all right.
Can you share a little bit how Scotia and Glen Eyre are doing?
Yeah. So I think I mentioned a couple of times ago that I'm on an every other day phone call with Scotia and Glen Eyre and the Friends Homes, executive directors, and then of course there's our corporate folks that are part of that phone call as well. I think they're all doing well. I think Paul at Glen Eyre is, he's got more of a major outbreak in the area around him. None of the communities have any cases at this point, which we've been very grateful for and feel very blessed about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good. We've been talking a little bit about protocols, about what happens if we do get a resident or a staff member that gets tested positive, and trying to work through scenarios of that. But I think our communities are doing well. The residents are, just like you all, they're struggling a little bit with the lack of ability to be able to do things like they would want to do, and everybody understands that. But from what I'm hearing from the other communities, and I've been telling them about how great you all have been about this, and I've been hearing the same things from the other communities, and there's a good spirit, a determined spirit, I think, of the residents is what I'm hearing from the other communities, and I've been telling them about that we're strong here, and we've got a really good resident base, and that they're very supportive of the things that are being done to protect you all. I mean, this is the hard part about being your executive director, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of stress, wanting to make sure that I'm doing my best job, and we're doing our best job to protect you, and knowing that we're doing things and restricting things that are important to you, and we know that. And so it's very natural for you to take it out on us, and some of the stuff is our stuff that we're going above and beyond what the government officials are telling us in some cases. But most of the stuff lately, I will tell you, is not us. This is all coming from the government at this point, and so we're just reacting to it. But please understand that everything we're doing is in your best interest, or at least that's what we think it is in your best interest, to keep you safe, to try and do our best to keep that virus out of here.
Okay. Can maintenance hang pictures for me during the stay-at-home order?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
Yes.
So I don't know if any of you have tried to call John anytime recently, but I think even on his message he says that we really are, at the moment, only sending our maintenance team in for essential things that need to be done in the cottages and apartments. And I know that's frustrating for some of you, but we have to screen that. I mean, for the same reason if we're not sending a housekeeping team in, we really are trying to limit the reasons why our maintenance team is going in. And we're not going to be perfect. And for those of you that think that we're going to be perfect with everything that we do and it's going to be fair and convenient or fair and even all the way across the board, it's just not possible to do that. So our biggest goal here is to try and eliminate as many of those opportunities for disease to get spread here as we can within limits. And so we're just continuing to try and do that. And maintenance is another one of those things. If you have a problem in your home, a real problem in your home that you need to have fixed, they're going to come in and take care of it. But if you need something that's simple, that's something that could wait several more weeks before it's being taken care of, we're going to ask you to please politely wait a couple weeks before we come in and do that.
Right. For us, hanging pictures would not be essential at this point.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay, last question here. I live outside and have collected a lot of plastic silverware with my takeouts. Can I bring them back to you?
I have a lot of them in my desk drawer too. I keep wondering if I'm ever going to ever really end up using those. 'Cause I usually use the fork out of mine, right?
And then you have the knife and
I got all
spoon
these
left.
knives and
Yes.
spoons and don't know what to do
Yes.
with, right? I've also thought about taking the salt packets and do I take them and put them into my salt and pepper shakers, somehow and
You
create
could have a
little,
full one by now.
I could have a whole one for
You
sure.
could.
So,
Oh.
yeah, I think unfortunately we can't have you do that. Silverware.
We don't want to take them back in once
Yeah.
they've been in your home. But when you're calling in, if you want to just say, I have my own silverware, don't put a packet in my bag.
Yeah.
Try that.
Yeah, that would work.
Try that.
That would work.
We're bagging up a lot of meals, so it's just hard to keep track of that. Some folks need it, some folks don't. But try that to say, I don't need silverware. You can leave that out of my bag.
Well, is there any other questions, Lisa? Or
That's
did
it
we-
for questions.
Okay.
Yes, and then the other questions, like we said, we'll have that addressed later today with
Yeah.
a communication.
And we might be able to go into some detail about that on Monday's show,
Yes, absolutely.
just to answer any questions. As you
Yes.
get the information coming to you in CareMerge and in your boxes
Right.
this weekend, as you have questions about that, please feel free to share them with us.
Right. That's a perfect opportunity. Okay, we have birthdays. None today.
No birthdays today.
No.
Okay.
But on Saturday, we celebrate Dick Morse and Mary Ann Crawford. So happy early birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
And then on Sunday, we have a special person, our resident council chair.
Ah,
That is Dan Phillips.
Dan.
Happy early birthday.
And there's a rumor out that Dan might be joining us on our
I
program.
think
Is
he
that
might
right?
be. I
Okay.
think he's coming Monday.
Okay, so that'll be good. Right after his birthday. So.
That's right.
Yeah. And we'll spare him singing to him because I'm sure he doesn't want us to be doing that.
He doesn't want us doing it.
I'm sure he does.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
now
Trivia
we're
winner.
to the fun point.
Yeah.
Okay. The trivia winner. So I bet we had a lot of calls in today. Michelle is shaking her head. So once she gets the first call in and it's the right answer, she's not answering the rest. So if that happens to you, it's because she already has the answer.
She's not picking up. She already
She's
has
not,
it right.
no,
Okay.
she can't manage all that. So the trivia question from Gay Brown. What letter of the alphabet is not in the name of any state? And the answer is the letter Q.
Q.
And the winner today is Hob LeBlanc.
Oh, Hob. Very
So
good.
Hob, you will be getting next Wednesday the Back to the Basics box. So we'll put your order in Monday and we'll have it for you Wednesday and deliver it to you.
That's super.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Q. When
Q.
when I first asked, I was thinking, was it Z? And then I realized,
Right.
oh no, it's Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, I thought
Right,
about that.
right. So that
Oh,
was
well.
good.
Well,
Very good.
speaking of which, what about our guest speakers? We had mentioned that we were going to have Dan here next week.
Yes, and I think he's coming Monday.
Yep.
So we have him scheduled already.
Yep.
Wednesday, we have Ken Massey again.
Yeah, speaking of which, we're going to move Ken from Thursdays to Wednesdays, I think.
We are. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Kind of break up the week a little more
That's
that
right.
way. Middle of the week, Ken will be perfect to have.
Middle of the week,
So,
right.
Yep. And then our plan is to follow up on Friday and have the guest speaker, Kat Banks. I don't know if you all know her. She's the healthcare administrator. So she'll be here giving us an update on how our healthcare is doing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We've had several requests of that.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
we'll have her here next week.
It'd be great to have her on.
Yes. And also want to throw out, we had a suggestion today from a resident. I think it was Sarah Hooper. So thank you, Sarah. She said it would be helpful if we put the phone numbers to where we call in for the pickups and also put the pickup times and the times to call in on the actual menus. So Cindy's working on that. I know we have the menu already out for this week, but we will make sure to add that for next week's. And we will also run that on Care Merge too. So, but that was a great suggestion. Thank you.
So we're down to joke of the day, and we knew we were going to be a little light today, so we were going to catch up a little bit on some of the jokes. So we got two today, I think, one is kind of very short, but two that have been sent in the last couple of days. The first one is from Bonnie Smith. Bonnie Smith sent a good one.
Okay.
And this one's very short and sweet. It said, why did the Scarecrow get a promotion? Why did the Scarecrow get a promotion? Because he was outstanding in his field. That's the answer.
That's a good one.
I like that
That's
one.
a good one.
That was good. Thank you, Bonnie. That was a really good one. I thought that was very cute. And then we've got another one from Bruce Schick that we were going to do it yesterday, and we were running a little bit late, so we decided not to. But let me read this one. So this is from Bruce. One Sunday morning, while the homeowners were in church, a burglar entered their family room with plans to steal the TV and video. He kept hearing a soft voice saying, "Jesus is watching." And again, several minutes later, "Jesus is watching." In looking for the soft voice, the burglar went into the room next to the family room and saw a parrot. "What's your name?" said the burglar. The parrot responded, "Moses." The burglar asked the parrot, "What kind of people would name a parrot Moses?" The parrot replied, "The same kind of people who would name a 150-pound Rottweiler Jesus."
That's a good one.
That's a good one, too. I
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
These are much better than my jokes, aren't they?
These are great.
Yeah, these are good
So keep
stuff.
sending the jokes. We're running low on material. So please send jokes to mijones@riverlanding.sr.org, or you can send them to Tom and I as well.
Yeah,
and our,
that's right.
our emails are out there
A
on
lot of
Care
people have been
Merge.
doing that.
Yes.
So we thought maybe we would do this maybe every Friday, add a little bit new segment, and the segment is like a top 10. We thought maybe a top 10 would be kind of fun to do. You know,
Yes.
good old David Letterman days, right?
Right,
So you did
right.
top 10. So I got two of them today, two top 10s for you today. The first one you'll see why we have. When I tell you the first one, you'll see why we have it be two today. But the first top 10 is the top 10 things. Lisa, listen to this. The
Okay.
top 10 things that men know about women.
Oh, boy.
This ought to be good, right? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, number 10. It's blank. Number 9, Lisa. It's blank, and I think you're getting the pattern here.
I think so. But
All-
go for number 8. What's number 8?
8 is blank, and if you keep going all the way to number 1, it's blank. So
Oh.
I think that's kind
We
of
learned a lot on that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of,
Okay.
So that's what men know about women, apparently. So the other one we have is the top 10 things I've learned from my children, and these actually are honest and no kidding things. So are you ready for the top 10? Number 10, these are things I've learned from my children. Number 10, certain Legos will pass through the digestive tract of a 4-year-old.
Oh,
That's something they've learned from their... Number 9, Lisa, guess what this one is? Super glue is forever. That's one of the things they've learned from rearing their children. What do you think?
yes.
I think that makes a lot of
that's so
sense.
true.
Number 8, this one I like. If you spray hairspray on dust bunnies and run over them with rollerblades, they can ignite.
Whew.
Can you imagine what that would be like?
No, no. Whew.
Number 7. A 3-year-old's voice is louder than 200 adults in a crowded restaurant.
That's a true story.
Number 6. I like this one too. VCRs do not eject peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, even though TV commercials show they do.
That's a blast from the past.
Yeah,
right
I was
there,
going to say, do you remember that commercial from before?
Yes, yes.
I remember that.
Yep.
All right, top 5 here. Number 5, when you hear the toilet flush and the words, uh-oh, it's already too late.
Oh, yep.
All right, this is a long one, but I love this one. Number 4, if you hook a dog leash over a ceiling fan, the motor is not strong enough to rotate a 42-pound boy wearing Batman underwear and a Superman cape. It is strong enough, however, to spread paint on all 4 walls of a 20 by 20 foot room. Apparently, that's...
Oh.
How about that one, huh? Number 3, no matter how much Jell-O you put in a swimming pool, you still can't walk on water.
Wow. Can you imagine all the Jell-O? Oh.
Number 2, a king-size waterbed holds enough water to fill a 2,000 square foot house 4 inches deep.
Woo.
And the number 1 thing that we've learned from our children is the fire department in High Point has a 5-minute response time.
We know that. That's a good one.
That was a good one. So our top 10 for the week.
You know, I have an idea for next week's top 10.
Tell us.
What if, since we're at the stay-at-home order, what if our residents send to us the top 10 things to do when you're stay-at-home?
Top 10. Oh, I like that.
What do you think?
That
We
would be
pick
good.
the top
We
10.
pick the top 10 then from our residents.
We
I
take
like
a
that.
look at all the ones we get and put the common ones together and we pick the top 10.
I like it.
Okay, we're putting this out there.
So this is a challenge to our
It's a
residents.
challenge. We need folks to send us things to do at home when you're stay-at-home order, top 10 things you would do. Do they need to be any certain... They need to be clean? They need to be... Is there any restrictions on these?
I think we ought to not have restrictions. I think we ought to
Okay.
just leave it wide open and let everybody kind of run
No
with their imaginations on
restrictions.
there.
No restrictions.
It may be a mixed bag of stuff that we get, but...
We might get a kick out of some of these.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Even if we can't repeat them on the air. It
Exactly. You could give us something to laugh about. So, absolutely.
So,
no
yes,
restrictions,
we would
send
love
it.
that. We would love that.
Okay.
Well, Lisa, I think we're at the end of our show, and it's the Friday, so we got the
Yes.
weekend coming, so we
Happy
won't
Friday.
be seeing you for a couple of days, but we love you all. Please stay safe. Please stay in the community if at all possible, and we'll see you again on Monday. Thanks so much. Bye.